Good morning, friends. Let's try solving this problem that, as we discussed last time, to implement UNIX find command in Java. So we have to write this a Java program in which some named as jfind, in which we will be passing two arguments. First is the directory name, and the second is the file name pattern, which we want to find and list it down. This is similar. What we discussed last time is that suppose I'm in a folder source test resources, and I have got amendments.txt, all these type of files, and also a subdirectory. So if I do a find here, find dot is my current directory, and I will pass the name as say star.txt. If I press enter, it means that it will list down from my current directory. It will list down all the txt files which ends with .txt, and also the subdirectories inside from the current directory, which is having two other files, dummy1 and dummy2. So this is what we want to implement. So I already implemented this in my Java program. So let's go there. So I've created this class jfind, which has got two member fields. One is the file directory, and the other one is the pattern. For pattern for matching the file names that we are passing. This is similar to what we have given here in the problem statement, that when I run this this class jfind, I should pass this directory and file name pattern similar to this file and directory. Let's go to the main class. We'll go step by step. So here I have in the args, we expect that there should be two arguments, the directory and the file name pattern, which we are checking here. And after that, we will set these two arguments that we have passed, the directory and the name pattern. So let's go through each of these methods one by one. So it's quite straightforward. I mean, it's just that it's checked as a string, and then it tries to create this file out of it. And if this file in the file Java API, I mean this, if I go through this file, in that case, it's always checks that if the directory name that we have passed is exactly correct, only then it should be able to create this file. So this is what we are checking here in this is directory method. We have to pass only the directory. So for example, in this case, we pass the current directory dot here and specifies the current directory. Similarly, we are passing it. And if this checks fails, then it's all good. Our first argument is correct. And that's why we will mark it as true. Otherwise, we will throw illegal argument exception. So guys, this is the correct way that we have to check the preconditions, that if the directory name is not valid or empty or it's not a correct directory, in that case we should throw illegal argument exception. And the same way for the second parameter, where we are passing the name pattern, the file name pattern that we want to list, that also has got a similar type of checks, that when we pass it, it should not be null or should not be empty. And then we have to set the name filter. So this is the important part, set name filter. Let's go through it. Set name filter, I'm using the Java regex. So let's go through it. So first of all, I will create this a string builder, which would be used for the pattern creation. So I'll start with this upper like caret symbol. What it means is that it's whatever the name filter that we are passing out, it should always start with this. So this actually indicates the start, and the last is that the $1. So whatever regex that we are creating, if I specify dollar at the end, so it means that whatever has been preceding with this, that should be the end of the string that we are passing. So this will get more obvious when we go through the test cases. So let's go through it. So whatever name filter that has been provided, I will create a char array out of it, and I will go through each of the characters. Whenever I encounter a dot in Java, I mean, we have to escape it, because dot has got the meaning that whatever symbol is present there, it should be matched. That's why we have to escape it. For example, if I'm passing .txt, I want dot to have its meaning that it's actually the extension of this file name. So that's why I cannot ignore this dot. I cannot use it as a regex. That's why I have to escape it and have the actual meaning of dot. So this dot should not be pointed to any regex, but the actual .txt, for example. Similarly for star has got a special meaning in regex, which means that whatever entry like 0 or any type of numbers of entry, that means the star. So we have to escape it by putting this as dot star. Similarly, question mark means that any one character or one letter should match with whatever we are passing. So that should be also escaped with dot. And similarly for these two brackets, the square brackets, we have to escape it like this because we actually mean it that this should not be actually translated into a regex, but the actual character. Similarly for the end. And so these are the only like regex patterns that we are getting. Regex pattern is a very huge library, but we will be focusing on these the most important the patterns that are present in there. So in essence, what we are doing is that whatever the name filter that we are providing and whatever the special regex characters that we encounter, that should not be treated as a regex, but it should be actually treated as a string input or the file name itself. And that's where we append it, and we also print it out. And then this is how we create a pattern. So we have to do a compile. We got pattern.compile. So this is a static method available there. So we have to just pass the string, and our file name pattern is ready here. So once we set our directory name and name pattern, then we have to find the files. And for finding the files, I mean, Java APIs are quite rich. It can already provide us. So first of all, we will create a list of files, because those files can be a list of any number of files. For example, when I do start.txt, it will list down me five files, including the subdirectories as well. So that's why it can be a list of files. And then I will pass the given directory. And then for each of them, I will print it out here. So find files, again, it's just using the file APIs again. So first of all, when we pass the directory, and this list path will be empty initially, we will populate it with all those files which have matched in the given pattern. So first of all, directory. So directory, when I call list files there, it will list down all the files inside it, including the subdirectories as well. So then we iterate through it here. And here, once again, if we are going to having a subdirectory, in that case, it will again do a recursive until it gets from all the list of files. So if we have called the recursive call here, it will again call for the subdirectories. Otherwise, if it's just a file, plain file, in that case, we will do a matcher here, the pattern that we have created. So in pattern, whenever we pass this matcher with the actual, and whenever this matches actually matches with the file name pattern, it will be return true or false. So if it matches, then it will return true. So this is the content of this matches method. It can return true or false based on the matcher that we create from the file name pattern. And if it's all matches, it's true. In that case, we will add it to this list that we are going to pass back. So this is all about this. And let's go through the test cases where it's the most important part of this problem is that to understand this regex. And this better to understand this is that we are test cases. So let's go through the test cases now. So I have split the window here for better visualization. So I created this test class in which I have got this finder here. While doing a setup, I'll set the path as source test resources, which is similar to what we are doing here. It's source test resources, so that we can match with the find command with our custom class. So once we set this path, and then we create this directory name. Now we have, as we have mentioned, that we are going to also test the invalid directory. So this is what the test cases are for both invalid directory. If you pass directory as say empty, or if we pass the name pattern, the file name pattern is null, it should throw that illegal argument exception. But the most important part is that the actual implementation of our find, the UNIX find command. So again, this what I have done is that I created a parameterized test, and I will set this pattern based on all these regex patterns that are present here. For example, start.txt, start.sr, a start.txt. So a start.txt means it should be starting with anything starting with a, and it can be any entry. After that, it should always end with .txt. So suppose we have got this type of regex in this case. So let's break it down. So once it goes to the set name filter, it will start with this, which means that whatever the text that we are passing, it should start from here. So this will actually correspond to this. If I just try to like mark it, it should be doing like this. It should be starting with this. Okay, our string builder here, SP, start with this, which means that anything which starts with A. So if I pass, say, any argument, any like file name pattern as a bb.txt or whatever, dummy1.txt, because it starts with D or start with bb, so it means that it will not match with this pattern. only the file names which are starting with A, only that will match. And this corresponds to all of them. For example, it starts with bb.start. We start with this character, which means that it should actually start with this B only. It cannot start with any other letter. So let's go through it again. So now again, I have to like do this name filter dot do to char array where I'm splitting it down. So once I encounter this A, when I encounter this star, so we are replacing it with dot star. So this is our regex expression like this. So this is how it is actually converted into the Java regex, that we convert this star, which is the sort of Unix, but in Java we convert it back into dot star here, and then dot would be again corresponding to this, because we have to escape this meaning, because right now this dot is not a regex, it's actually the part of the file, so we cannot treat it as regex. That's why I will change it from dot to escape it, so that it has the actual meaning. Now it will be represented to the dot txt now. And then if it's not like this, then we have to simply append it for the rest of them. So this will correspond to this part. So this is our regex, which is formed when we are actually passing this a star.txt. And when we do this, so everything which is present there, we're starting with A and with ends with .txt, that will be printed. So this is what I expect here. So only we have got amendments.txt, which matches this regex. It starts with A and ends with .txt. That's why it should be printed. So again, we'll run this and then verify this again. So here, after doing this, all is like a special like switches here for the caret. At the end, we do dollar. Dollar has a similar meaning as star. Star stands for like starting, and dollar stands with ending, which means that it should always end with dollar. So this is what the meaning. It should start with A and always end with .txt by specifying this dollar. So this is all about this. I mean, we can go through all other examples. So here this would be matching one character. So it can be dummy 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Any type of character would be matching here, the single character. Similarly, this part, it means that it would be having any type of letter or character or alphanumeric, whatever you want to put there. And similarly, it can end with only any character. When I pass this brackets, it means that it should be printing either of 1 or 2. If it's like 3 or any other character other than 1 or 2, this will not be matched. Okay, so let's run this test case to ensure our understanding is correct. Let me click on the run button now. And let's wait for it to complete. So the test has completed. So for all the arguments as we discussed, for example, star.txt, let's go through it. It has got this regex after doing all this translation that we have discussed here. So after this, it is going to print me everything which ends with .txt, including the subdirectory. This is exactly matching with whatever we have done here we're using the actual find command in UNIX. Similarly, for all of which, whatever ends with ser, starting with anything or ending with ser. So this is the regex that is created. As we have seen that this starts with this character, and anything starts with any character which matches with this. But finally, we should be always having .ser. So we are escaping this dot with this backslash. This is what we expect, and dollar means that everything should be ending with .ser. So we only have got this online sampling.ser, and that's why it's printed like this. Similarly, for a.star, which we actually went through it in details, that is also having only like one amendment.txt as expected. Similarly, anything starting with bb star.txt. So we got bb.txt and bb locked.txt. So locked has also matched with the star. So that's why it is printed like that. Now, anything which has got any character at the beginning and any character at the end and ends with .txt, that we've also printed. So we only have got bb locked.txt. So that's why it is printed here. So bb start with anything and .txt. So you can go through this dummy, as mean the dummy ending with only like 1 or 2. Only these 2 are printed. And dummy with whatever characters are also printed. And if we check only like 1 and 2 in brackets, it means that only 1 or 2 should match. So that's also printed here. So guys, this was all about implementing our own UNIX command in Java. UNIX find command in Java. So far we have covered 9 very interesting problems in Java, like actual coding interview problems. In the next video, we will cover about designing a LRU cache. LRU cache is like one of the very common problems I have seen across all the banks and all the other companies. So we'll go through it in details, that how we can implement it using Java APIs and how we can implement our own data structures to implement LRU cache. So see you all in the next video.